Tomo News for Friday, July 21st. Don't mess with monkeys. After getting mugged by a monkey, a boy in China has learned that sometimes in life, you just gotta let things go. Last week, the 12-year-old and his dad were out hiking at a mountain range in Sichuan province when the boy dropped his bubble-making toy. When a monkey ran away with the toy and climbed up a tree, the boy foolishly chased after him. Up in the tree, the monkey's posse came out in full force to defend their guy and attacked the boy, scratching and biting him. When the child fell from the tree, his father ran over to help. That's when he too was attacked by the gang of monkeys, suffering the same fate. According to reports, a security guard stepped in to save the pair, and the monkeys dispersed. Roughly 100 monkey attacks take place in the area each year. Drones sow the seeds for a greener future. Scientists in India plan to turn a difficult-to-reach area near Bangalore into a lush green forest by dropping seeds from drones into the soil. The first drone seed bombing experiment took place on June 5th to mark World Environment Day. Researchers from the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore will drop seed bombs on an arid hill range north of the city. They plan to cover 10,000 acres, an area equivalent to more than 5,500 soccer fields. Seeds from native species, such as tamarind, will be wrapped in balls of manure and soil before being dropped from the sky. Drones equipped with cameras will be used to geotag the area and monitor the progress of the project. Around a dozen native tree species have been chosen for the project, which scientists hope will help a forest flourish and encourage wildlife to return to the area. According to scientists, goats that graze on saplings, the dry climate and climate change are some of the biggest challenges to the project. Lion tamer mauled to death by a not-so-tame lion. A viral video from Egypt this week reportedly shows the moment a lion tamer was attacked by the king of beasts. The incident went down at a circus in Alexandria. Islam Shaheen was using a stick to command one lion to move forward while another was climbing a ladder. The performance was seemingly going as planned until a third lion pounced on him from behind. And that's when the circus performance suddenly turned from entertaining to horrifying. The lion reportedly took a bite out of Shaheen's neck and then mauled him. Other tamers tried to help by poking the 200-kilogram cat with sticks. Wouldn't that just make it matter? Either way, Shaheen, pictured here cozying up to a lion, died 2 days later at a local hospital. He was 35. A spokesman said it was mating season, therefore the lion was acting erratically. But some reports speculated the lion, a new addition to the circus from South Africa, was hungry or shocked by the circus music. Now, is it just us, or is that music taken from Mortal Kombat? See a story that really should be... This could be the solution to world hunger. Researchers in Finland have successfully made food from electricity and carbon dioxide captured from the air. So, could this new technology help feed the world? The food-creating system uses a bioreactor, which contains water, microbes, and nutrients, such as nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. The electric current triggers electrolysis of the water, and with carbon dioxide captured from the air, the end result of the chemical reaction produces a powdery, edible compound. The compound contains more than 50% protein, 25% carbohydrates, and the rest is fats and nucleic acids. The bioreactor can be set up anywhere with renewable energy, such as solar power or wind energy. No word on how this stuff tastes, but who cares when, according to the UN, 795 million people are undernourished globally, and another 2 billion people are expected to join them by 2050. Maybe, just maybe, this could help. Well, that's one way to turn vegetarian. Meat lovers across the U.S. are suddenly finding themselves allergic to meat, all thanks to a pesky little bloodsucker. A bite from a Lone Star tick activates an allergy to the carbohydrate alpha-gal and causes the body to overproduce immunoglobulin E antibodies. Alpha-gal is found in the cell membranes of most mammals and is abundant in pork, mutton, and beef. Eating red meat triggers a reaction that manifests hours later, with symptoms ranging from itching and hives to stomach cramps and even anaphylaxis. So if you're unlucky enough to get bitten, it's sayonara steak and bye-bye bacon. Poultry and seafood, at least, are still safe to eat, unless, of course, you just happen to be allergic to that, too. The spread of meat allergy-triggering ticks used to be limited to states in the southeastern U.S., but rising temperatures have caused ticks to spread northward and westward. Scientists have yet to figure out exactly how the tick sends antibody production into overdrive, but suspect it may be something in the insect's saliva. While the allergy currently has no known cure, symptoms may recede over time. For now, it's best to just double up on bug spray and hope to the meat gods you don't get bitten. Wanted, Captain Planet. Looking for a new job that offers travel, space secrets, and a six-figure salary? Well, NASA could be the employer for you. The Space Agency is seeking a Planetary Protection Officer, or PPO for short. For up to $187,000 a year, you'll be expected to avert the organic constituent and biological contamination in human and robotic space exploration. Or in other words, defend our little blue planet from risque and dirty alien life. And to stop space-bound humans and robots from polluting planetary ecosystems. Prospective applicants need to be American, science whizzes, and have advanced knowledge of planetary protection. Or more simply, you need to be Iron Man. For those interested, the current PPO is Dr. Catherine Cassie Conley, and on her first day in the job, she was given a pair of Men in Black-style sunglasses. And there's nothing secret alien defense agent-ish about all that, right? Right? Stop eating papayas. One person died and 12 others were hospitalized in the U.S. after they were infected with salmonella bacteria found in papayas. The salmonella outbreak was linked to yellow Maridol papayas. A total of 47 people were infected with salmonellosis in 12 states, including New York. Symptoms of the infection include fever, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps. Most individuals recover without treatment in 4 to 7 days. In severe cases, the infection may spread from the intestines to the bloodstream, and this can eventually cause death unless treated promptly with antibiotics. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has urged people to stop eating or serving yellow Maridol papayas. It is estimated that 450 deaths linked to salmonella infection occur in the U.S. every year. Brutal takedown on Delta flight. A plane flying from Seattle to Beijing had to turn around, thanks to a disruptive passenger who had a sudden and rather violent urge to get off the plane. Delta Airlines Flight 129 was cruising at about 32,000 feet when first-class passenger Joseph Hudek rushed out of the lavatory and tried to open an exit door. When 2 flight attendants tried to grab him, he punched one in the face, twice. Another passenger trying to help got hit in the head with a wine bottle. As the scuffle continued, one flight attendant hit Hudek in the head with 2 more wine bottles, breaking at least one of them. The hit, however, didn't really seem to affect him, but a passenger managed to put him into a headlock, and he was eventually restrained with zip ties. After an attendant notified the cockpit, the pilot called in the situation and the plane was diverted back to Seattle, where officers came aboard and took the 23-year-old into custody. He was handcuffed and zip-tied to a wheelchair, but continued to be belligerent even as he was rolled out of the terminal. The Tampa, Florida resident was charged with interfering with a flight crew, which carries penalties of up to $250,000 and could see him jailed for up to 20 years. Hudek had a beer before takeoff, but didn't appear to be intoxicated, so it's unclear what prompted him to act out. He was reportedly able to push the emergency release lever halfway to the disarm position, but the door would not have opened with the plane at such a high altitude. These guys are dangerous beyond description. A manhunt is underway in Georgia for 2 inmates after 2 prison guards were shot dead on a bus that was transporting prisoners. 33 prisoners were aboard the Georgia State Corrections bus, separated from 2 guards by a gate in the rear section of the vehicle. It is unknown how the 2 suspects managed to enter the driver's compartment, overpower the guards, and disarm them. At least one of the suspects shot the guards dead. Both suspects then reportedly carjacked a green Honda Civic and stole the driver's cell phone. Later, the suspects burglarized a house and are believed to have stolen food and clothes. The 2 inmates have been identified as 43-year-old Donnie Rowe and 24-year-old Ricky DeBoss, both convicted armed robbers with long criminal histories. Officials say they may be armed with the prison guards' Glock pistols and should be considered dangerous beyond description. The slain guards have been identified as 42-year-old Christopher Monica and 58-year-old Curtis Ballou. A $60,000 reward is on offer for the capture of Rowan DuBois. Thief repelling bike lock harnesses the power of the skunk. A bunch of San Francisco inventors, fed up with getting their bicycles stolen all the time, have come up with a chemical deterrent to stop bike thieves. When a thief cuts into the skunk lock, it releases a vomit-inducing gas that also makes it difficult to breathe. The lock's inventors see huge potential for the device because around $350 million worth of bicycles are stolen in the U.S. each year. The U-shaped skunk lock is made of medium carbon steel and has a hollow chamber inside that contains one of 3 different pressurized gases. Some of the gas formulas contain capsaicin, the active component in chili peppers. According to the inventors, the formula is detectable even through gas masks and ruins any clothing it comes into contact with. The gas smells unpleasant from up to 10 feet away, which could draw unwanted attention to potential bicycle thieves. The inventors admit the skunk lock is not foolproof and could probably be picked. But they say it would take up to 30 minutes because the device has an advanced disc cylinder tumbler lock. According to the inventors, they are legal and compliant with state and national laws. They've set up an Indiegogo page to raise funds and aim to get the lock to market by June next year. Detective accidentally kills colleague during gun safety talk. An officer with the Fresno County Sheriff's Department was shot dead this past week, the victim of an errant bullet fired by a fellow law enforcement official. On October 31st, Deputy Sergeant Rod Lucas was having a discussion with a detective about gun safety at a police station. Specifically, the two were conversing about their backup weapons and how they carried them. As they were talking, police report that the detective's secondary weapon accidentally discharged. Lucas immediately dropped to the floor, suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. One of the other officers attempted to perform CPR, but it was no use. Lucas died shortly afterwards. 2 officers present at the time said the incident was a tragic accident and no foul play should be suspected. 46-year-old Lucas was a 20-year veteran of the force and leaves behind 4 children and a grandchild.